We started our operations in July 2021 when we were requested by the government of Mozambique to come and deal with the problem of a terrorist group called Ansar al-Sunna wa Jamaa, which had ravaged Cabo Delgado province for a period of 4 years, from 2017 to 2021, July. And so our operational objectives were very clear. We had to conduct operations to dislodge the insurgents from their strongholds, conduct continuous security operations to ensure that they don't come back to these locations, and then carry out stabilization operations to stabilize and return civilians to their homes so that they can continue with their daily activities. And then lastly, to carry out security sector reforms. Now we have basically done all the four, albeit in different proportions. Operations were conducted successfully in the districts that we initially had, and that is Palma and Mocimboa de Praia. The enemy escaped crossed the river Mesaro and escaped into Macomia district. Our forces worked hand in hand with Samim to dislodge remnants of the insurgents who were hidden in a forest called Katupa in Ichai in Macomia district. So we managed to dislodge him from there, and we found several weapon caches in that forest. So it was a very massive achievement. SMGs, LMGs, machine guns, RPGs, anti-aircraft weapons, and so on and so forth. All those in large numbers were uncovered from the weapon caches. We operated also in a place to the north of Palma called Nikaduruvuma, where there was a small element of the enemy, of the insurgent. And we managed to dislodge him from there, and civilians went back to those locations. These are locations where civilians had completely vacated. So they came back to those areas, which is a massive achievement. So we have returned civilians to the tune of 190,000. Of course, the number is still huge. They haven't yet all come back. But that's a huge number, which is testament to the fact that there is peace and security and stability in those areas. So they have the confidence to return back to their homes. And we have carried out a number of socio-economic transformation activities, working hand in hand with the Mozambican forces and different institutions, so that as a consequence, we would have more people coming. And we carried out medical outreach programs in different parts of Cabo Delgado. And every time we would carry out those programs, we would see people coming back from the bushes to receive free medical care. So we found that a very important aspect. That and many other socioeconomic transformation activities helped people to, enabled people to have the confidence to come back to their homes. And so that's one of the things we have tried to maintain. We have also, of course, created an environment for the return of some, business activities. We opened the fish market in Mocimboa de Praia. That's one of the activities that the population was involved in. So the fact that they could start fishing again was also important. And so, and you visited marketplaces in Palma, they are all packed. So there's a lot that has started, which is really good. And so in as far as socioeconomic activities, a lot has been achieved. The leaders in different districts have returned, and they are now, serving the communities with some degree of confidence that security is sustainable. one of our operational philosophies is that you have to ensure human security in order to, by extension, improve national security. That's our philosophy. And so you may deal with the enemy, defeat him in a military engagement, but after that you need to really work towards improving the welfare of the people that you seek to protect in different ways. So you can do that directly or creating the necessary conditions for other NGOs and IGOs and to be able to support the community that you've protected. We do that in peacekeeping missions and bilateral interventions. So in Cabo Delgado, at least we have to a large extent contributed to human security by supporting them in medical outreach programs. We've treated to the tune of 16,223 people, children, women, and even combatants themselves, ex-combatants, and that by extension helps to win hearts and minds and improve the general security situation. So we believe that really works quite a lot. So yeah, that's our belief.
190,000 refugees come back into their homes. Can we say that no more refugees come?
Coming back or no more refugees going out? Either way.
The initial refugee camps
There are no more. Actually, the few remnants are just people who need support from the government and who are not able to live on their own, and those ones are everywhere. I mean, even in our own situation, you will always have people who need care. So those ones are there, but they are very few. We have really reduced that number quite significantly. Yeah.
So what about the social activities like education, opening up?
Yes, we've opened up quite a good number of schools in the education sector. We have at least, I know about 4 good schools. There's Januaro Pedro Secondary School, Milamba Primary School, and Mute Primary School in Palma District. Those schools are now fully operational. And we give them scholastic materials. Our forces are involved in providing some of those materials to allow people to, start their education. And that is in regard to schools. In regard to healthcare, hospitals have been reopened, quite a number of them, in Musimboa de Praia and Palma. In Palma, we have a level 2 hospital where we carry out, these are referral hospitals where at different levels, when they refer you to that hospital, our officers and police personnel are involved in treating people in Afunji level 2 hospital. Quite a good number of them. We've treated up to 16,000, but we have also treated even the local forces from Mozambique about 694, and our own forces over 900. In different illnesses. So it's quite a big number that we are helping to treat.
So, what about the economic activities and the big projects of investments?
Yeah, like Total and all those. Yeah. Some have already started. Some mines and hotel industry. Yeah. We visited one of the hotels that is fully operational in Palma. Is it Amarula? Yeah, it is now fully open. And several other activities, services. You saw construction of roads as we went deep inside the town centers outside the main city. We had roads being constructed, which is a sign of economic, recovery, albeit at a small scale, but it's quite an achievement.
Aren't you scared of some small terror attacks?
Well, the proof is in the pudding. Nothing has happened so far because our forces have tried to be vigilant. And even if something happens, we will be able to deal with it. Our forces have been in a state of readiness to ensure that, at least in the areas that we control, we deal with any threat. Because it is very important for us to maintain security wherever we operate. Because by extension, this gives the confidence to the population to return back and continue with their different activities. So if we do not maintain momentum, and if we do not become vigilant to ensure that these terrorists do not return, then we will have failed our mission. And that is why our forces are very, very serious with dealing with any possible enemy infiltration.
So does this mean that you're satisfied with the...
Currently, I could say to a large extent we are. But we always stay vigilant. We cannot accommodate any form of complacency. So our forces are briefed. Before they operate, they are briefed that this is a war situation, and make no mistake, we have to stay vigilant.
What are you doing to make it more sustainable
with our Mozambican counterparts? We do what we call on-job training. So our counterparts operate with us wherever we go. There has never been a unilateral military action, that is RDF or National Police only. No, we always operate with them. So wherever we have successes, they share the successes with us. And that's why it's called a joint task force. That is very important in building the forces. So that when we are no longer there, they will be able to operate on their own, because the modus operandi will be more or less the same. So our forces work very closely with the Mozambican forces in theater. And so even in other socio-economic activities, we engage with them. Whenever we open up a medical outreach program, they have their own tents, we have ours, and then civilians will advance to come, get medical services from, our side and the Mozambican side. So that partnership is very important, and it has built, the confidence and friendship between our forces. And I think it also, by extension, provides confidence on their part to be able to take up the mantle.
So how does it work together with the other support of the European Union?
Yes, the EU is supporting in training. I call it the theoretical part because it's also important. When a university student completes university, they always say, you go for stage. That is the practical internship in English. And that is supposed to empower the new graduate, by working closely with experts or people who have been working for some time, and they get better at that business if they are good students.
Yeah.
So that's what we do, and we've achieved quite a lot in that direction. So they train. When they graduate, some of them are brought, or most of them, if not all, are brought to the theater, where we engage and work with them closely.